November, the U.S. public will get to vote on who becomes president for the next 4 years. And figures from the media and political establishment are now preparing the public for possible outcomes. Something called the Transition Integrity Project, created in 2019, is planning for things that could go wrong during the upcoming vote and subsequent transition of power. They've been playing out war games, and some rather interesting scenarios have been dreamed up.
With the exception of the big Biden wins scenario, each of our exercises reached the brink of catastrophe. With massive disinformation campaigns, violence in the streets, and a constitutional impasse.
The Transition Integrity Project is not the only outfit thinking along these lines. Hawkfish, an outfit funded by Michael Bloomberg that does work for the Democratic National Committee, as well as pro-Biden super PACs, is planning for hypothetical situations that involve mail-in voting confusion.
When every legitimate vote is tallied and we get to that final day, which will be some day after Election Day, it will in fact show that what happened on election night was exactly that, a mirage. It looked like Donald Trump was in the lead, and he fundamentally was not, when every ballot gets counted.
Hawkfish predicts that such a situation could lead to Donald Trump refusing to step down. And that's rather similar to the Transition Integrity Project. Are you seeing a pattern here? Well, the New York Times certainly has.
If Trump claims a victory that is not rightly his, a few marches in the streets will not be an adequate response. There may have to be a sustained campaign of civic action, as in Hong Kong and Belarus, to rally the majority that wants to preserve democracy, that isolates those who would undo it.
Trump is equated with civil unrest, so naturally, only Biden's victory can save the country from chaos. Don't buy it? And let's not forget another factor being thrown in, allegations of Russian interference. The allegation is that Russia favors Trump and denigrates Biden. So Russia must be preemptively punished before the elections even happen to prevent meddling.
We thus urge you to draw upon the conclusion of the intelligence community to identify and target for sanctions all those determined to be responsible for ongoing election interference, including any actors within the government of the Russian Federation, any Russian actors determined to be directly responsible, and those acting on their behalf or providing material or financial support for their efforts.
Russia is also accused of spreading rumors about mail-in voting in order to undermine the U.S. elections. But it's not really Russia that's doing that, unless, of course, the Kremlin controls American TV networks.
There are cases from just this last spring where ballots have gone missing and turned up after the election. So it happens. I mean, the post office is doing its absolute best, but they're humans.
Fraud via mail-in voting already happens. Not speculating.
Now, the election is still 2 months away, but they are already preparing for how to handle the results. Who will be the villain? Who will be the hero? And how they will tell you to react.
They're already setting up a climate where there is going to be massive speculation about the legitimacy of this election. They said the exact same thing in 2016, that Trump is not going to concede the election if he loses. And then what happened? Oh, the Democrats didn't concede. Hillary didn't concede. We dealt with Russiagate for 2 years. If the Democrats lose, if Joe Biden loses, in fact, I think any Trump supporter would be smart to not be in there, if they live in a liberal city, to not be there on election night. They are going to burn the places to the ground. They know they're going to lose, and so they're already setting up the game to further damage his presidency and to damage his second term should he win. So it'll be another scandal. It'll be another, they'll have some other conspiracy theory like Russiagate. Maybe it'll be Russiagate Part 2. Who knows?